Recovery from the behaviors and attitudes that have interfered with our relationship with self and a higher power is the start of a recovery program and will become an ongoing process. As with our addiction to chemicals, recovery is not only about abstaining from chemicals, but also about replacing the unhealthy behaviors with healthy behaviors. And so, good morning. This is Yvonne from the Berks Rise Center and the Council on Chemical Abuse, reading a little snippet from Queen Baby. We're still celebrating Women's History Month and wanting to remind ourselves that we are good enough, that we are important individuals in and of ourselves. And when we look outside of ourselves for support, or actually when we look outside of ourselves for confirmation, right? We want to please others. And so we take on different roles as part of wanting to be pleasing to other folks, to beef up our own self-importance by looking at people from the outside, giving us that signatory of being good. And what we're learning about Queen Baby is that we come from a place of desire of wanting to please others. And there's nothing wrong with that. But the inside, the internal, the spirituality within us shines a light that tells us that we are important enough, that we do enough, that we are enough, and that people love us. And we don't have to take on these different characters in different settings to find that people can acknowledge and accept us for who we are and the place that we have and the space that we have in our world. So what Queen Baby tells us is that we come by these characteristics in a way in which we're trying to get our needs met. And last time I was with you, I mentioned several different characters, like the tomboy or the mother and caretaker of all, or, one that has more than what they have, or the little girl. And I talked to you really about the people pleaser. And I mentioned the people pleaser because it really does fit into all those other characters that I mentioned. If we start out desiring to please others before we please ourselves, then we take on those roles of being that caretaker, being that caregiver, being that counselor, being that educator, being having more than what we need. And we take on those roles without understanding who we are and what we have inside to be able to truly, authentically give to somebody else. And so it is my hope that as we celebrate Women's History Month and as we've celebrated the women that have walked before us to take their space and place on this earth, that we also are willing to do the same thing in an authentic and genuine way, that we honor the women that we are, and that we celebrate ourselves each and every day. I ask myself, what am I doing today that gives me wholeness, that is just for me, and that sometimes it takes a space that you have to condition yourself to be by yourself, right? And so those mornings when I get up and I do some prayer and meditation by myself in the comfort of my own home, without the TV on, without the radio playing, without anyone speaking to me, and you take 5 to 10 minutes of yourself just to give yourself those internal messages of goodness and bringing in those internal messages of being enough, right? And when we're able to do that, when we're able to honor ourselves in our own being, in our own presence, and then we take on the celebrations that others might give to us, it's meaningful. It's meaningful. But there's meaningfulness and gratitude when we're able to shower those accolades on ourselves for ourselves. And so I challenge each and every one of us as women to honor ourselves in some way each and every day. And if that means taking 5 to 10 minutes to do some prayer and reading and meditation, or if that means taking a walk alone around the block or up our road, or if that means reading something that's empowering, something that underscores who we are, and letting us know that what we do is an honorable position that we have on this space and place on earth, and that as women, we honor the humanness that we are, the spiritual beings that we are, and that we look for those roles and characters that honor and move us forward in a right space and place, that we feel good about who we are and where we are, and understand that those things that are outside of us just really support our well-being for the good, right? That we're not taking on those roles in a negative manner, but we're taking them on because those are the responsibilities that we have. Queen Baby is an opportunity for growth. It's an opportunity for observation. It's an opportunity for connectedness to someone else, to one another, in a right spiritual being. I'm going to come to you the next time, and we're going to kind of wrap up all of this Queen Baby and talk about the next steps in terms of our recovery from not only substance use disorder, but even our recovery from our old behaviors, because we gotta shed them if we're going to move in the right light. So Queen Baby has been a wonderful journey and experience for us. I hope you've gotten some little small nuggets from it, and we're going to wrap things up on the next episode. But I want to thank you for tuning in and bless you a great day.